Well, I've seen my dad without a mustache. It does not look like that.
Can you believe we're here? Last night, last speech.
And it's already recording.
And we're ready to go. Anytime you are. Gentlemen, cease the chatter.
What are we supposed to use paper for? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Okay, the white sheet of paper is you're going to write one follow-up question to each speaker. Your name is going to go in bold letters up on the top so that you get credit for having been awake, involved, engaged in all of the presentations tonight.
Or at least saying you were.
And then just a question, you know, so Brittany obviously is going to be talking about families. There might be one follow-up question, you know, like, I don't know what, but I'm sure you will think of great ones, and then we will entertain those questions after we finish each presentation.
Can we just skip to the questions?
I know. Wouldn't it be great? All right, so madam, anytime you are ready.
All right. So we all have our role models or people we look up to. Well, it might be a little weird, but mine are my parents. They've both been there for me since, obviously, before I was born, but they've also been there for each other and have loved each other since the day that they met. So to help you see how my role models, how they are my role models, I am just going to explain both of them briefly. Well, there is my mom. Her name is Shannon. She was born November 13th, 1973, and was raised in Milwaukee. She is the oldest of 4, 1 brother and 3 sisters. Also, when she was little, her father left and did take no part of their lives after that. So when my mom got old enough, she started taking care of her younger siblings so her mom could work, and also got a job to help pay the bills. With all the responsibilities, she dropped out of school and because she couldn't handle it. Then there was my father. His name is Darren. He is again the oldest child, born September 14th, 1970. He was raised in Madison. He has 1 sister, 1 half-sister, 1 stepsister, and 2 half-brothers. His parents separated when he was little, and both of them got remarried. In return, he misbehaved and started getting into a lot of trouble. So my parents met when they were teenagers. My dad's girlfriend at the time was pregnant with my brother, who was also my mom's friend, or girlfriend was my mom's friend. When my parents met, it was pretty much love at first sight. They started writing each other with little notes, and my dad's girlfriend found them one day. Well, my dad moved in with my mom and helped her take care of the house. A couple years later, when my mom turned 19, they got married, and less than a year later, I was being born. About 2 years later after that, my mom was put on bed rest with my sister for 4 months because my sister tried coming out early. Right then, they knew that she was going to be the troublemaker, because when it was time for her to come out, they found out that my sister had a bowel movement in my mom's stomach. The doctor had to stop right below her nose and the mouth to clean out the airways so that she didn't breathe it in. Since my sister and I are complete opposites, I don't know how they can put up with us and are arguing. My parents got a divorce about 3 years after my sister was born, and they shared custody of us. After about 7 years of being apart, my parents realized they were made for each other. Shortly after being back together, my dad got into a car accident, which put him into a week-long coma and made him lose his short-term memory. When he woke up, he asked for his girlfriend he had been with right before they got back together, but my mom stuck by him even though it hurt her. My dad finally realized that my parents had been back together ever since that day, and for the most part, they've been happy. These 2 are my role models because they have been through so much and are still happy and together to this day. They know true love, and I hope one day I'll find the same. Thank you.
I'll give you a second to write your question for Britt, and then we'll ask them, because I know I've got one, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I was going to say there's going to be quite a bit because my story's all there's a lot of questions I could ask them.
You don't have the answers to yet. So how would you like to do this? Do you want to just go in a row, or do you want to go with how the spirit moves you? Because you might have a compelling question that you want to ask of some presenters. Because we'll do an equal balanced number of questions shared. Okay. So, Kelsey, will you start with your question for Brett?
You might have said it, but did your parents get remarried?
No, they are just living together. They think getting remarried is just too complicated.
Don't blame me.
And Helen, your follow-up question for Brett.
I guess, how did your mom support you guys as a single mom?
How did she support us? By working at McDonald's. And child support.
And Don.
How did your mom's best friend, the ex-girlfriend of your dad, find the notes?
How did she find the notes?
Oh, good question, yeah.
In my dad's top dresser drawer. It actually threw her into pregnancy.
Wow. So my question is, have you seen the movie 50 First Dates?
Yes.
And is this kind of the way your dad is today, or not so much? Or not that extreme?
He can still remember before and after long term, but he doesn't remember the whole 2 weeks before the accident.
Okay, so he lost those memories.
He lost those memories and didn't realize that my parents had gotten back together, and he asked for his ex, and he realized a week after that that's not right, and I have to go back to her.
So today, if he saw you at breakfast and said something to you, he'd still remember it tonight?
Yeah.
It's not like he's had permanent short-term
it's
memories?
just those 2 weeks he lost his short term.
Gotcha. I often hear that happens to people, that it's just...
He says that he doesn't remember, but he just forgets half the time.
Great. Thank you, Brittany. And Dan.
So who do I look more